House Intelligence Committee threatens the White House with a subpoena. Congress's investigation into Trump is heating up, and the White House just got an ultimatum. Give us everything you have or we'll come after you and get it ourselves. You've probably followed the Trump worked with Russia nonsense long enough to know that the story is BS. You probably also know that Congress just isn't going to let it go. So they've sent out subpoenas and they've had people testify, and nothing is working for them. So it's clear that Congress would come after the White House at some point, sometime, especially if none of the other scare tactics are working. But this case is different. Even though it has to do with Russia, it's not a case that targets Trump. This case, in fact, targets none other than James Comey. And the White House intelligence community just promised to subpoena any and all documentation the White House has relating to Trump's conversations with the fired FBI director.
To the Department of Justice, if there is such a memo, we want to see it. We want to see it sooner rather than later. If I need to issue a subpoena, which I can do unilaterally as the chairman of the Oversight Committee, I'm willing to do that. We also, just literally in the less than an hour ago, put out an official notice that we're hoping to have Director Comey come before the committee in an open public setting so everybody can see it next Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
Are you considering a subpoena for an alleged tape that Donald Trump may have of the conversation he had with Comey?
Those are all within the realm of possibility. First step is to find out if this memo even exists. I mean, the New York Times has been wrong in the past. I have great respect for this reporter. But let's see what the memo is, and let's see where it takes us, and then talk to Director Comey, and then if it warrants it, then we'll give the the White House a chance to offer up their side and see if they have any documents of any sort as well.
Does it?
The Daily Caller reports the House Intelligence Committee sent a letter to the White House Thursday threatening to subpoena for access to any documentation related to conversations between President Donald Trump and former FBI Director James Comey. GOP Representative Mike Conway of Texas and Ranking Democrat Representative Adam Schiff of California said in a joint statement that their letter made clear that should the White House not respond fully, the committee will consider using compulsory process to ensure a satisfactory response. This story has been dragged on to death, but we should still recap. Before Comey testified, Trump tweeted that there might be tapes of the conversations he had with the fired FBI director. Trump later told Fox News that he was trying to keep Comey honest and that he didn't have any tapes himself, and that everyone thought was where the matter ended. But it's not enough for the House Intelligence Committee, because while they believe Trump, they believe him very, very specifically. Yes, Trump doesn't have any tapes and Trump didn't make any recordings, but that still doesn't mean the White House didn't. With all the recently reported electronic surveillance, intercepts, unmasking, and illegal leaking of information, I have no idea whether there are tapes or recordings of my conversation with James Comey, but I did not make and do not have any such recordings. By only referring to the president's statement, the White House's letter stops short of clarifying for the committee whether the White House has any responsive recordings, memoranda, or other documents, Conaway and Schiff said Thursday. You might think the committee is nitpicking, but they have to. These kinds of investigations are very specific. It leaves Comey much less wiggle room to lie. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.